by Boston Brewery.
So we've decided to do another holiday special, and we didn't really have one particular beer we wanted to do. So we have not done any Sam Adams beers for many reasons. We actually like Sam Adams. Some people might not consider them craft. I kind of think they kind of started a little bit of the craft beer scene. I've been to the Boston Brewery. We've had some pretty good high-end stuff from the Boston Brewery, including Utopias. But
I like Sam Adams. I've always liked Sam Adams. They were kind of, to me, it's always been, they're always micro brewery, you know?
Right.
It's always, you know, before craft beer was even really a thing people talked about, it was always micro and macro and everything. I even like Sam Adams Light.
Me too.
If you're going to drink a light beer, I mean, I don't even know if they still make it. It's hard to find, but...
I think they make 6-packs. I haven't seen the 12-packs like we used to get, but...
Because I know we talked about reviewing it before, but, I mean, if you're going to drink a light beer, I think that's probably one of the best.
It has taste.
I mean, I think light beer is kind of sacrilegious, but, I mean, that's a good one.
So this particular pack, I mean, obviously it had the Boston Lager in it, which, you know, we're not going to review that with this set. So it does have Winter Lager in it. It has an amber Bock, a chocolate Bock, the old Fezziwig, which is actually kind of been a staple with a lot of them for a few years with these winter packs. It's like another one they kind of throw in there.
Yeah.
So with that said, we're going to crack these open. We're going to give an honest review. I mean, we've had some of these, but some of these are pretty new because they like to switch them up. So this is the Winter Lager. I mean, it's amber. It's a lager. Smells like a lager. It kind of has that little, not skunky, but you know what I mean.
That smells more yeasty than anything.
I mean, it's got a little bit of head on it. It's always been really carbonated, but most of their beers are pretty carbonated.
Yeah.
Just
Not
the way
too
they do
bad.
it.
It's a little bubbly. Doesn't really have that winter spicy.
Right.
You know, that I'm used to getting on a lot of the winter beers that I normally not usually a huge fan of. I think we did the Chocovesa, it had that, but I didn't really mind it as much, but it's usually like a little eggnoggy or something. Nutmeg. This doesn't have that smell. It might end up having the taste in the back end, but I'm not picking that up so far. Cheers.
So, I'm going to start with this only because, as he pointed out, there's a lot of ales, lagers, and stouts that they do seasonal, winter, and it has spice. Some kind of a spice or another. This one does have a spice taste to it, but it's not as...
This tastes like a beer to me, not a winter beer.
Right.
Which is good because I don't like... You know me, I don't like things where they're too themed because
Right.
usually they kind of push it too far to that one extreme. This just tastes like a good beer to me.
Because it's got a malt finish to it, and that's kind of cool.
It's almost like a malty pilsnery, light ale kind of blend. It's really easy to drink. Would you say it's 5 point something alcohol? It's not thick. It's got good flavor. It's a good balanced beer.
Yes.
There's not too much flavor. It's not too thick, not too strong. I mean, I like strong beer, but
You could drink
where it's overpowering. Or you got to be careful with it. I would definitely say this is a good beer. It's kind of hard to rate. I don't know. I would say 4.
I would go with a solid 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
All right, so the second beer we're going to try from the winter pack from the Boston Brewery is going to be Chocolate Bock. I can get the chocolate notes. It almost smells like milk chocolate, like chocolate milk.
Yeah. It definitely has. It smells like more like cocoa-y.
That's what I mean.
The Mexican hot chocolate. I'm
Right.
I couldn't think of the name.
I can't think of it either. The powder.
Yeah.
It's fairly dark, but it's not black. It's almost dark red, I guess.
Well, you can't see through it. It's kind of a reddish brown, if that's even.
Yeah.
possible.
Well, no, that's exactly what I'm going to. There's it's brown, but it's got like a red tint to it.
Yeah.
It's got some carbonation. Like I said, you can smell almost cocoa, not chocolate, but cocoa to it. Bock beers are usually pretty, not heavy, heavier.
Thick.
Thicker. Yeah, thick. Okay. So, I mean, it being a chocolate and a Bock, I'm kind of expecting a little bit of a thick mouthfeel to it. Not stout, not porter, but in that area. So, let's try
Like a chocolate milk beer.
Yep. I like it.
It's actually really good.
Yeah. So far, and I know we've only had 2 yet, but I'm going to say this is probably my favorite. You do get the chocolate notes. You do get malt, but it's not heavy malt. It is a thicker feel, but it's not that coat your throat, thick beer.
It's a beautifully balanced beer.
Yes.
And I've had a few Choco Bocks in my day. But this doesn't overpower. It's smooth. There's really no bitterness to it. It doesn't really even taste like that much like a beer.
Right.
For us, for people that have friends that don't like beer that
Right.
much, but they want to get buzzed and drink beer, but they don't want to taste beer. We've all heard that in our life, right? This is a good one. So when you buy this pack, save this one for that friend. That
or the last, so you can keep it for yourself. And
yeah.
I mean, it's nutty, it's chocolatey, it's thick but not overpowering. It's really well balanced. The alcohol content's not low but not high. There's no real IBUs to it. It's not bitter. I could drink this all night. This is a really good beer. I don't know how else to put that. So
how you gonna rate it?
I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. I love this. This is really good. I'm not gonna push out that 5, huh?
I'm just trying to decide if it's a 5 or not. You know how it's I try not to give that out.
Just for you to say that it's a good beer and it's a Bock beer is amazing to me. So that's all I got to add to that.
Okay,
so
well, let's put it this way. This is the best damn chocolate Bock I've ever had in my life. So, as that, I mean, I want to say more like 4.75, but I can agree with you on 5 if we have to. But this is the best chocolate Bock I ever had, and this is coming from somebody that doesn't hate chocolate Bocks, but it's not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're gonna say, hey, let's drink some chocolate Bocks tonight, this is the one that I want.
Right. All right. So the next beer, number 3 on this list that we're gonna do is the Oatmeal Stout from the Boston Brewery. All right. So this is not red by color. This is dark. I'm gonna say Matt would call this the Black Death. It's 40 weight. It's got a little bit of carbonation, which, like we said from before, most Sam Adams beers are heavily carbonated. Not heavily, but more than usual.
Well, it's pretty carbonated, but not like your typical,
It's not a soda.
Yeah, well, your typical, Bud or Coors or something like that's going to be way carbonated. I would say this is. They seem to use a lot of carbonation for like micro breweries. I would probably say.
I'm gonna say it almost seems like there's a roasted malt to it because it almost has like a chocolate smell. I can smell the oatmeal, which is probably the oats or the malt smell that I'm getting, but it almost, like I said, like roasted malt.
It's got a malty, oaty kind of smell, I would say. I'm not really sure what else I'm picking up, but there's something else in the mix.
Right. Well, it's an oatmeal stout, so I'm figuring mouthfeel is going to be, again, thicker. These guys, the carbonation kind of offsets the thickness of their stuff, but not by much. It's not that high in alcohol. It's got a higher IBU for a stout, which is kind of weird because the other ones I don't think even reach that high.
Yeah, I think that one was like 12 or something. This
So,
one's 20 something.
All right.
Cheers. It's really light for an oatmeal stout.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's. Hold on.
It's like amazingly light for an oatmeal stout. I don't know if I like that or not, but
It's kind of where I'm
I
thrown
would
off
expect
by
it to be, like I said, compared to the original oatmeal stouts that we had.
Well, see, here's what my question is it the carbonation that's making it seem lighter than it is, or did they make the stout less heavy? Because to me, it's almost light enough to be like Guinness drought status. Almost not nitro or carbonated, but you know what I mean? Like, is it the carbonation in this beer that's making that taste, or is it the way they brewed it? Because for a stout, I wouldn't put this in a stout category.
It tastes like a oatmeal stout.
Porter?
Like, cut like a light beer.
Maybe, yeah. I got you on that one. Not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying it's not
I was
our.
going to say the positive part of it. Not even it's a bad thing. We just both expected the oatmeal stout that we used to drink that was, thick and dark and strong. And this one,
I mean, I like whatever the roast is.
A lighter version of it. It has the flavors and everything, and this is definitely good for someone that's never. I mean, we probably should start out with a beer like this instead of the
Dimitri.
No, I'm just saying like for oatmeal stouts.
I got you.
This is a good for if you never had an oatmeal stout before. This is a perfect one to have because you're gonna get the flavor and everything else, and then when you have a thicker one, you're gonna really get it. So I think that's maybe what they were going for is, it's an oatmeal stout, but it's
for the masses.
It's a lighter beer too. I mean, this isn't oatmeal stout isn't.
Usually 5.
Yeah, most people who have oatmeal stout, even if they like the taste of it, they're not probably going to finish it. It's a man's beer. It's thick and it's not easy to drink for some people. So I could definitely see why they did it this way. Don't hate it. It just didn't expect it to be this light.
On a rate from 1 to 5, I'm probably going to still give this a 4 because of the fact that it's not a bad beer. It's just not what I expected. But other people
it's not your thing for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. For me, though, I don't even know where to go because I just expected something totally different. And I kind of wish that I didn't see the bottle and didn't know what it was and didn't know it was called an oatmeal stout because it would be easier for me to kind of gauge it.
Right.
What'd you say, 4?
I said 4 out of 5.
So I'm thinking like
3.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not mad at the beer. It's just
3.75.
3.75. I think that's fair. That's a fair assessment. 3.75. But I would say if you've never had an oatmeal stout and you're more of I don't say light beer drinker, but like the 5-6% range, definitely try this beer. And when you get this pack, I would probably start this more in the beginning. And kind of go,
and finish with the chocolate Bock.
Yeah, I would finish with the chocolate Bock for sure. And not just because we liked it so much and everything, but just because that was just, it's almost like a dessert anyway.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like you eat your steak, your potatoes, your vegetables, and then you have your
pumpkin
chocolate
pie.
Bock.
Yeah. All right, so 3.75 out of 5. It's not a bad beer. Don't let the rating fool you. I mean, I know usually we don't try to do it as low, but it's not what we expected, and I mean it's good taste. I like the malty roast to it.
Yeah.
It's just not. If someone told me this was a roasted malt porter, all day, but it says oatmeal stout.
Yeah,
so.
It throws you off. It's a good beer, and especially if you haven't had oatmeal stout, you just kind of like beer, and you're kind of looking into trying different flavorings and things like this. This is a good way to go without having to fully commit and drinking a thick, like most other oatmeal stouts I've ever had are really thick.
Yeah.
And it's a different kind of drinkability. So if you're more used to, and that's probably why they did it, because it's, they want to keep it in the same, they probably don't want one to be super thick, and you know what I mean?
One higher, one lower.
I think they're trying to do these packs in the same sort of drinkability and just giving you different flavors. That's kind of what
it might be the reason why the alcohol contents are so close together too. So anyways, for the oatmeal stout from the Boston Brewery, we're going to do 3.75 out of 5.
Yeah.
All right, so beer number 4, Old Fezziwig Ale. This is a spiced winter ale from the pack from the Boston Brewery. So I smell caramel notes, malt. A lot of caramel.
Caramel and malt is really all I'm picking up right now.
Yeah, as I say, I don't really smell any other kind of like spice to it. I mean, the beer itself, it's a 5.9 alcohol by volume, and it's 25 IBU, which I think is actually the highest one we've had out of the pack so far. It's ginger and orange peel with cinnamon, so it should have some kind of a spice to it, which would be obviously cinnamon. I don't pick any of that really up. From the nose, at least. I'm sure the taste might be a little bit different. It's amber. It's red. It's an ale. It's carbonated. I'm expecting the mouth feel to be kind of creamy, smooth, kind of Scotch ale-ish. If you know what I mean.
It It's definitely got a red amber. If you look at it from the top, almost looks like a red wine.
Oh yeah.
Carbonation is not really there as much as the other ones we've had. You know, I mean, yours is bubbling a little bit, but
not like the other ones.
Yeah, not like the other
ones.
ones.
I can see the carb.
I mean, mine almost looks like a wine, right? I mean, if you look at it,
or like a flat beer.
Maybe it was just that really good pour, but
ooh. I guess I'm getting shown up on the pours nowadays. All right.
Cheers. I don't pick up any ginger or cinnamon.
I do pick up a little bit of some kind of spice, which I'm sure is the cinnamon. I do pick up the orange peel a lot. Whatever the caramel note is in there, I'm sure it's the malt that they used. It's actually really good. It almost smells overpowering when you first smell it, but it seems to carry on that beer really well. I like these kind of beers, so I'm kind of biased, but this is done really well to the point where for it to be a seasonal winter ale and it's spiced and all that fun stuff, it's supposed to get you nice and warm, you know what I mean? Like it's so drinkable. It's almost a little easy to drink, easier.
Yeah. Has a lot of flavor, but not overpowering.
Right. That's kind of where, I mean, it's got what it says is on there, so, except for I don't really get the ginger. Maybe that's what the caramel smell kind of is. Maybe it's kind of like a cooked or roasted ginger. I don't.
Well, you get a little bit of taste on your tongue afterwards, and I think that's
in the back
definitely
palate.
The orange peel, and I think it's a little bit of the cinnamon and ginger, but it's very faint. And to be honest, I was kind of not looking forward to it because a lot of times we put cinnamon and things like that in beer, and if you're like me and you don't really like cinnamon that much, if it's faint like it is here, it's okay. But if it's cinnamon, if I'm drinking, yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I expected. It was just like, oh, this, and then just cinnamon overkill in the end. So very clean, good drinking beer, and I don't know. It's kind of hard to rate. What do you think?
I'm going 4.5 out of 5. Just because it's not the best winter beer I've had. I still think Santa's Private Reserve is my favorite one. I mean, that's just me, but it's really good. It's easy to drink. You could give this to anybody, especially in that category you were talking about, the domestic beer drinker that drinks the 5% alcohol.
Yeah.
And this wouldn't be like,
this is their winter. Yeah.
Like this is their introduction to good craft winter ales. That's my thing. So I'm going 4.5 out of 5.
I would say 4.25 is kind of where I'm lying at, somewhere around there.
So we'll meet in the middle, 4.25 out of 5. So 4.25 out of 5 for the old Fezziwig Ale. It's good.
I surprisingly like it way more than I thought I was going to. Reading that bottle, I was like, oh God, it's so going to be so over the top winter flavor, and it wasn't. So good job, Sam Adams.
All right, so number 5 and the last one on the winter pack that we're going to do is the Amber Bock. So with this one, it's red. It's almost got a red tint. It's
you can see through this one probably better than most of them.
It's lighter than most reds that I've ever had, and that's even including Bock's. It's carbonated, but not too much. It's got an okay head on it. It's a little skunky, especially for a Bock beer.
Well, it's caramel. It says on here it's caramel notes with the crisp finish. So it kind of tastes malty caramel and just kind of fades into, like a typical American beer.
Right.
Just kind of that smell.
Do you think so? Because I'm getting a little skunky. I'm not getting malty at all.
To me, it tastes the malt caramel and then just a little, I don't want to say pilsnery, but
yes.
It's kind of like
you're hitting that on that.
Like
whatever
a typical lighter beer.
Well, I'm almost wondering if
it's
it's
a little sweetness.
From the malt?
From the beginning, yeah.
Well, I'm almost wondering if there's cluster hops in this, because that's what it kind of reminds me of, is that Pilsner cluster smell. So it's a Bock, but it's red, and it's kind of light, so I'm not really sure what the mouth feels on this. I mean, the color spectrum on this is pretty light. It almost looks like a regular beer.
Yeah. It looks almost like a beer, a really light beer with an orangey tint to it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of carbonation. You can see little bubbles in here, but not too much. I'm interested to see.
Try it. So, for being the higher of the alcohol contents on here, it doesn't really taste like it.
It has a dry pilsner-y kind of taste in the back end.
There you
go. It's clear, easy to drink. And it's a little bit of sweetness to it.
It's got a little sweet, yeah.
It probably could use a little bit more carbonation.
Yeah.
But it's a good beer. I'm used to Amber Box being a little bit more carbonated, if I remember correctly. I mean, that's not my staple beer.
Well, I think amber beers in general are usually more carbonated.
Yeah. But I definitely would say it's a good beer. I would suggest trying it, especially because it's pretty clear and easy to drink. It kind of just, the taste is, in the back end, it's not like your typical light beer where it just kind of fades. It kind of just stops.
Right.
Which I think is probably throwing you off, right? It's
not only that, but it shouldn't...
Almost, it's almost like wine. When you drink wine, how you're just, you know what I mean?
It shouldn't taste like a light beer, though. It's a Bock. That's what's throwing me off. It is very light, and it does just stop, and that's kind of where I'm kind of going... and it's an amber Bock. I don't pick up the amber part of this at all. I don't get the caramel notes. I don't get the...
I would say it's a good beer. It's just it's not, we're not recognizing it as much as for what it should be or what we're used to, or what's labeled as.
Well,
right?
kind of like the oatmeal stout.
Same thing, yeah. It would have been a. We probably would have liked it better if you wouldn't have told us what it was, because then we're kind of like, hey, this isn't.
What is this?
I was expecting this,
like heavier malt.
You're almost like getting ready for that thickness, almost like a Guinness, and it's like, oh wait a minute, I could just pound this. What would you rate this? I know you don't seem to like it as much as some. But,
I'm gonna
it kind of goes along with the whole theme.
It does.
Too. It's got the same.
I'm going
kind of thing.
3.75 out of 5 for the Amber Bock from Boston Brewery.
Yeah, I was thinking 3.5, 3.75, somewhere around there. So we can meet somewhere right there, because I would say it's not the kind of beer where I would say to stay away from it. I'd definitely try it. If you buy the 12-pack, us, now that we've tried it, I think that I kind of would drink them in succession of
the way we drank them. We should have done it. We should have done it from you.
We should have done it backwards, probably. Keeping the chocolate Bock at the end, just because it's almost like the dessert. This would have been a good starter. Then you know what I mean. I probably would have went into
Fezziwig,
this one, and then like you said,
I agree.
Worked that way. But they're all good beers, and it's definitely a good taster pack.
No, it is.
Because it's not like when me and him go to breweries, like it's just one extreme to the other. You got a double IPA, you got a imperial, you have a lighter beer, sour, So you're really your tongue and everything. It's just not not kind of thrown off a little bit because the different thicknesses and everything. So I think this is a good blended pack where it makes it they're all easy to drink. It's kind of like just different flavor palettes.
Yeah, no, it was worth the money. And these things are pretty readily available. Obviously Sam Adams has had a lot more fame than a lot of the other microbrews or craft brews that we drink, but at the same time the Boston Brewery and the Boston beer company do really good one-offs, and that's kind of where we were heading with this. And we did a Christmas special last year. We did Rogues, which is another larger, still craft brewery, but we did 2 of their beers, so we thought that this was kind of a good idea. Great beers. If you can get your hands on it, please do. Besides that, guys, have a happy New Year. Great holiday season. We'll finish this out, and you guys have a good night. Cheers.
Cheers.